In today's video, I'm going to show how a peaceful camping experience turned almost into a nightmare due to the bad roads near the campsite. This page is about a man that bought his first pickup truck after he retired. He named it the Galaxy. This truck gave him so much capability that he decided to do more with it. So he bought this horse trailer and he wished to convert into an RV so he can travel around the country and enjoy life in a different way. And then he bought this 2022 Mercedes Sprinter 3500 XD that he can convert to VanLife so he can tow his motorcycles in his work trailer to different events around the country. Drive from Georgia to Florida went well. The only problem was I ran through a few bits of rain here and there and got my motorcycle dirty. But it was nice scenic clouds like you see in here on my side view. I arrived at my campsite very late and it was dark outside. I could hardly see anything. But I welcomed this nice view the next day of my campsite and its surroundings. It was a nice view indeed, with an occasional interruption of horseback riders riding through, which wasn't a problem at all. I slept very well in the Sprinter overnight, but I needed to go the next day to go get some food, so I decided to take the Sprinter with the trailer attached and the motorcycle out to get something to eat. So I used my GPS to track my route to the nearest store. As you can see from the beginning, the roads here are very sandy and a little bit bumpy. So let's go for this crazy ride. The GPS told me I should have made this left-hand turn, so I'm going to have to stop, back up, and go down that way. At this point, I had a very wide road and an intersection in which to back up and make this turn successfully. My seeing these logging trucks should have gave me a warning as to what's to come, but I didn't think much of it at that time. Notice the roads are getting a little bit sandier. This is my rear view at this point with what's going on with my trailer and my motorcycle. So all that was happening was a lot of sand getting tossed onto my motorcycle. After a few minutes, it's beginning to look so not so good back there with all the roads we're traveling through. And now I'll start thinking twice about this road because it had gotten a little narrower and a little rougher. So I'm beginning to wonder, why was my GPS taking me this way? But I kept on trusting it and moved forward. When the road started changing like this, it made me wonder, why in the world am I here? But the GPS is saying this is the right way to go, but I'm not liking this at all. This is a right side view as to what was going on at that time, and things were getting a little bit trickier out here. And then I happened upon this. It was a gate with a sign that says no trespassing. And I said, oh boy. And as you can see, I have nowhere to turn around. I have the trailer behind me and a 22-foot sprinter. There's no way I can turn around here. So now I'm trying to figure out what to do next. With no other choice, I realize I'm going to have to back my way out of this till I find a point where I can turn this thing around. Because I was in here for quite a few miles before this happened. A little bit further, I still found no place to turn around. I eventually had to back this thing up for almost a mile before I found a spot suitable to even try to turn around. There are drainage ditches on both sides of the road, and you'll see here in a minute that there's some larger vegetation that came close to this trail. I'm not calling this part a road anymore. It feels more like a trail. Here's the rear view with my bike on the trailer and what it's going through. You'll see later it's going to get worse. Now here I am trying to look at this spot I'm near to see if I have enough room to back the trailer into. So I'll check it out and see what I can do here. This might just work for me, so let me see how I can maneuver this. No, that didn't work for me, so I'm gonna have to back this thing down a little further. Then again, I started encountering the deep dips with my trailer. We're back to the view of the front. Again, this to me is not a road. This is more of a trail, but the GPS brought me this way. So I have to back up even further. So here I am having unfriendly contact with the vegetation along the side of the road. It looks like I'm finally getting more width on the left side of the road. So I'm going to check this out and see if I can find a place to turn around here. Oh yes, though narrower, there's this place off the left side of the road that looks like I might be able to pull the trailer in. I have to be very careful in doing so. Here's what this looked like in my rear view camera as I get this trailer into this spot. It's not very wide, but I'm able to get something done here. I have to be very careful not to get this thing stuck. Remember, I have a rear wheel drive Sprinter, not the all wheel drive, and my dual wheels have helped me out tremendously. I don't need to get them stuck. There's no one to come to rescue me. Yes, I considered putting my trailer in a spot where I could disconnect it, turn the Sprinter around, but I had no real place to do that either. In my rear view, you can actually see the area I'm trying to get the trailer in to the left side of my trailer there, but there's the little ruts in before and afterwards that I have to be careful of. Now I'm checking the front of the Sprinter to make sure I have enough clearance to get the front wheels without going off-road here. So I just want to make sure. Now that I've seen what my restrictions were as to how far I could go, it's time for me to try to complete this task. I determined that spot was way too risky, so I need to back up further and find myself a different spot. So here we go again. About another half a mile later, looks like I found another potential spot, but I'm going to have to go through some roughage to get there. Just a quick glimpse as to how this looked in my rear camera. I made it past that crazy spot, still looking for a better spot to turn around. This was getting a little stressful, but I think I finally found a good spot to turn around in. At this point, I think I have enough room to swing the front end of the Sprinter around and get it out. Here we go. Here are some views of what that looked like on the rear camera and the trailer. Finally got the trailer out of that hole and we turned around heading back. That's good. As you can see, we're not on the trail anymore, but we're still not on the best of roads. This eventually led me back to those logging trucks not too far from the campsite, so that was a good sign. Still on crazy sandy roads. At all that loose sand on the right side of the road. Can you imagine bringing a motorcycle down this? As I finally neared my campsite, you'll see some of the horses I told you I see occasionally. I hope you're able to tell how bumpy this main road is, but we got to get to where I'm trying to get to. I just happened upon another campsite out here, but that just only means I need to turn around. I'm off course again, apparently. My goal now was to get back to camp, unload this trailer, then head on out to get the food I was trying to get. But the story has not ended. I reprogrammed my route, what appeared to be a better route than what I had gone before, but now we're in for a big surprise. This road, too, eventually became a trail, which I began to feel I was off roading in a rear wheel drive vehicle, and it was not very comfortable. At this point, I'm questioning why am I here still doing this, but the GPS assured me that I was on the right route. So I paused for a minute and realized I don't know where I'm going. I need to press on. This road eventually started being more sandy than the other road with a lot more potholes. So this is not feeling good, and I don't like being out here like this. Now you can see some of the ruts and potholes I was running through. This road is unnerving, but I had to keep going because I had this trailer behind me and I had to keep the dual wheels going. Another rear view glimpse of my trailer just trying to keep up, following behind me. If you notice, there's a dangling down there. I had gotten a warning that my left brake lights had gone out, but actually my doggone connection came loose. If you look right behind the tongue, that's it moving across the gravel. Had this been concrete, that thing would have been destroyed. This road had more area to the left and right of the road than before, but then again, here we go again. I run into a different roadblock sign that says no trespassing. The only difference here is that I had a place to turn around. So I don't understand what's going on here. I'm only following the GPS. There's no mention of a restricted area or anything, but I got to turn around this time. So it made it a little simpler than before. As I'm heading back, you can see how crazy some of the roads were here and all the sand involved and some of the dips. But here we go. We got to get through this. My trailer too. Driving through here with a Sprinter and a trailer attached is just simply crazy. It probably wouldn't be so unnerving had I had a four-wheel drive version of the Sprinter. But still, this is very narrow. Went on for a little while longer till I finally got to a point where I figured I was out of the woods, literally. My lesson learned on this stuff is always know where you're going. Secondly, try to be prepared for any kind of danger you may face. The problem here that I need to know is that if you don't have a four-wheel drive vehicle, don't go in those areas, period. And now I know. So I'm going to stick to my familiar routes. In this case, forget what the GPS says. I did make it back to an area familiar to me, which means I was close to my campsite. So I'm ready to stop this madness right now. There, I made it back to my campsite. Then it's time for me to park this trailer, dismantle it, and go out a way I know to go and avoid what the GPS is showing me. I've become familiar to a point I know which way not to go. So here's my camp. I'm going to unlock this gate, go in and camp and park, disconnect this trailer, and move on for the day. There, I made it back to my campsite. My rating of this was campsite good, roads bad. So when it comes to the Sprinter, everything was okay, but with the motorcycle and trailer, not okay. So those are my lessons learned on this one to remember in the future. Thanks for watching.